Chicken sandwiches. Kate. Sasa hizi ni gani? So umekuja niki kiglass na nilikwambia tuko na wageni.
Stress. Nimeibiwa. Like give me peace. Be my peace. Oh, Heather.
Najua umeibiwa. Na hizi nguo umetoa wapi na ulibiwa kila kitu?
Si mimi influencer, si nimepewa. Si upewa. You think it's funny?
Sinajua si funny, lakini sasa hiki kiglass wote basi nikuwekea kwa glass ndogo.
No, let me wallow. Drown my sorrow.
Sawa basi. Either way.
Hawa tulisema wanakuja kuniongelesha wako wapi?
Wanakuja. Hata kuna dem nimeita saa hii. Kuna dada kaa wewe. Pia yeye alilose vitu zake zote. Lakini mimi sijaimwona akini nini aibu akina tuko na wageni Kate.
Hata ni influencing.
Nini na kuinfluence kufanya nini?
Please. I'm not okay. I'm waiting for those dadas of yours. They come and rescue me and they give me a loan. Nafaa kuwa na influence. Sina kitu kwa nyumba.
Leo tunaongea story nyingine different. Si story alone leo. Okay. Sawa. Aya basi ki glasi usiwekele kwa meza sasa. Hata ndio huyu ule nini. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Karibu sana. Tusalimiani juu ya COVID.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Tatuka social distance.
Very good.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So introduce you.
Hi guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Yes, we are back. Today's topic is on insurance.
Yes.
We have done DADA, how to join DADA, how to be part of the community, the network from STANBIC Bank. And now we want to talk about insurance, how to protect yourself. You saw me in the clip losing everything. It could be your business, it could be at home. We need to protect ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, in case of such things, in case of such happenings, you're able to, you don't get depressed like me and drink from amutungi like this one. Yes. And she tells me you have a similar story.
Yes.
You're going to share that. So please stay tuned, watch, share, and subscribe. Okay? All right. Haya, karibu sana. You can introduce yourself to this camera. Yes, so that camera over there.
Hi, my name is Frida. I run a travel management company called Orchid Africa Travel.
Oh, travel.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think I know why you're here. How are things? During this COVID? Umeona mapepe?
Nimeona mambo. Yes.
Oh my. How is it? How?
Almost non-existent, I'd say. Yeah, because we rely on the airspace to be open to have business. Airspace open, then people travel.
Okay.
So now, because of COVID, and then we had to close our airspace, and not only us, other people, so no one can travel.
Okay.
And then number two, maybe you have underlying issues. You're like, why am I exposing myself?
Yeah.
Number three, there's Zoom. Why do you have to go to a meeting in the United States and you can
Oh my.
Oh,
Technology is
technology is replacing that.
Whoa.
So it was just one cancellation after another. Anyone who wanted to travel now cannot travel because of the airspace being closed. And two, I can do online meetings.
Okay.
So why do I need to travel?
Have you found ways to reinvent yourself? No, watu wanafanya staycations.
Yeah, we have to make it work. Like we have to work with the people around. At least also Kenyans are also like, let's support each other. We can go to the park for a day and come back. We can go to a hotel over the weekend and come back. So slowly by slowly, at least it's better than nothing. Okay. Yeah, so we're trying to make that big for now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So COVID happened. Then what?
COVID happened, and then at first it was for I'm sorry, I can't travel because maybe you're going to China to do business because there's COVID in China. So at first we're like, okay, we'll still have this other travel until now things got thick and we were all affected. Yeah. And it got to a point I was like, we are not opening the airspace anytime soon. Things are becoming thick. The office has to be paid. Employees have to be paid. And days are turning into weeks. So we had to make serious decisions. I had to close office.
You closed office?
I had to close office because I don't have any rent. I don't have any income coming in to pay the office. Even my the desk and all that had to remain there because, hey, where am I even taking them? I had to let go of staff. So those ones for let's wait it out and see how it goes. For now, we can't really have any promises. It was quite hard because you feel like you're grieving. You've lost something that you've known and held for quite some time. And
it's like a baby.
It's like a baby. You've taken care of it. gotten money from different places to just make it happen. And then now what? So now we are here and then. So it's been quite a journey, to be honest. And it's not been a happy journey. It's been a very sad journey. But we're like, okay, COVID is here. So what do we do? Yeah.
We manage it.
Okay, can see my other guest is here.
Oh, okay.
I think...
Hello.
Hi ladies, how are you doing?
Hi.
Well.
Yes, we are.
My name is Cyprian.
Tunasalimiana kwa hewa.
Oh, okay.
COVID.
Za
Karibu
Mungu.
Cyprian.
Asante sana.
Nimeambiwa wewe ni utanisaidia.
Really?
Yes.
Tell me more about it.
Insurance. We are just having a conversation here.
Okay.
about loss.
About loss
About
of income.
Okay.
And
huyu aliibiwa vitu zake zote za nyumba juzi,
And
hata
now-
nguo hana.
Pole.
Muona
yeah,
aliomba
and
nguo.
being a dada,
Yes.
I have had you have these facilities,
Yes.
insurance for
Okay.
women who are part of the DADA network. Maybe you can introduce the package for us. What
Alright.
is this product that you have that is protecting the dadas?
All right. So
Yeah.
for starters, I'm Cyprian Mumanyi from STANBIC Wealth Management Division, and within it we've got insurance. So I was told to come and spend time with our dadas. Happy to be here,
Yes.
and I'm happy to talk about anything insurance. So you spoke about DADA and what we've got as far as insurance is concerned. But maybe before we start talking about what we've got for you, I also want to learn from you. So what is insurance to you? What is insurance to you, Kate? What is insurance to you,
Insurance,
Frida?
mimi najua ni ya gari.
Gari.
Ni pesa unapeana zinapotea
Na
kwa sababu
zinapotea,
unakaa mwaka
yes.
mzima
Yes.
na gari yako hata ijagonga hata ina scratch, pesa
Yeah.
inapotea.
Ni kitu tu inani stress na kumbuka tu askari na kumbuka insurance.
Insurance. Hiyo
Okay.
sticker
For me,
iko
it's-
hapo.
That's as far as
that's a good
insurance
answer.
and medical
Okay.
because of the kids.
Because of the kids.
Thinking, oh, outpatient, inpatient, niko na insurance.
Yes.
But and
Okay.
being a mother, you never know.
Yes.
Unaweza sababu ya COVID, you've been very idle.
Yes.
Unaweza need maternity insurance in a few months. You never know.
Vitu kaa hizo.
That's
Yeah,
also an
people have
answer.
been active.
Na
yeah.
NHIF. Kuna ingine.
No nyingine.
Na hiyo inakatwa na employer.
Yeah.
And for you?
And for me, it's security, but
Yes.
very expensive security.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
All your answers are right. But I think it's also good to understand what insurance is and what it's not. So insurance is a way of risk management. I'm sure you've had many conversations
Yeah.
around wealth management. It's part of the way you look at your wealth. The way we say, wealth is not necessarily about your money.
Yeah,
also
yeah,
about
I
your,
was about to
Yeah.
ask when you say wealth, kuna watu washazima TV. Ah, hiyo si yetu. Okay.
Bas.
Yeah.
it's your financial and then financial well-being. So it could be wealth to me, it could be my family. To you, it could be your car, it could be your house, it could be your business. I mean, it could be what you value. So wealth is really, it's both financial and non-financial. And insurance and risk management is just part of it. So if you look at what insurance does, is insurance is a way of saying that there's a risk that could materialize in future. There's a probability of it happening. But what I'm trying to do is try as much as possible to cushion myself. It's like you spoke about your car. I'll give an example. Kuna kuanga na airbags kwa gari. Kazi ya airbags si kusema eti accident haitafanyika. Ni kusema kuwa in the unlikely event of that accident happening, at least you're protected. You could be having injuries, but the idea is try as much as possible to minimize them. And that's the use of insurance. Another example is rain. You know, when you're walking out there and it rains, most of us actually carry umbrellas, and many dadas will always have umbrellas in the
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that you don't want to be rained on.
Yeah.
It's to say that you want to minimize, that your clothes being wet, your
wig.
hair, your
Yeah.
shoes. So the reality is that rain will get to you, but you just want to minimize. And I think that's the best way to start looking at insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
It sounds better,
Yeah,
much better.
it
when you
sounds
say
much
that.
better.
Because it feels like such a task. It's like you're paying rent. It feels like it's like a hole where you keep pumping money and then it doesn't make sense. Apart from medical.
Medical does make
Sasa
a
ingine
bit of
medical
sense.
unaweza
Ah,
kaa.
unaweza kaa
worry
dharura kama hujakuwa
we thank
mgonjwa.
God. Hiyo
Yes.
huwezi complain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the types of insurances that I know zinakuanga mingi, but nyinyi mnakuanga mnaofa gani in particular? Especially for the dadas.
So we have several types of insurance, and also maybe to pick from what we discussed before around what insurance is, the other way of looking at it is also to say what it's not. So I think many people tend to confuse insurance also with investments. Yes, it's true, we do have certain insurance solutions which are linked to some investment component around it, but the primary purpose of insurance is risk management, trying to minimize that impact. So within STANBIC Insurance Agency, we've got several solutions, and there are several ways of looking at them. And insurance tends to be very much personalized. So it could be personalized to you as an individual or to you as an entity like a business. And that's how you can look at it. So you as an individual, it can be you, your family, your business, and your extended family, like your parents-in-law, your kids, and maybe even certain people who depend on you. So that's how you look at insurance. And also from a business perspective, of course, business its own entity, but we do have people who trade as themselves. So, at times in Kenya, we say that it's a hustler nation. Kila mtu akonaka kahustle kake. So in those instances, then you tend to have where there's a very thin line between myself and my business. So we also take care of such instances. So as a DADA, and one thing we've come to learn is that DADAs are very hardworking. They take care of their families, they think about them, they think about their businesses. So the question is then, when you're looking at insurance, how do you make sure that you take care of the things that you love? In insurance, we say that you're trying to protect those that you love or the things that you love, and also trying to mitigate or to minimize the loss that would affect, either your assets, your business, or even yourself. So that's how we look at it. So from a DADA perspective, we have very exciting solutions. And, when we were talking about that and we spoke to them, they said, we are working, we've got businesses, and one of the things we value is family. And family is myself, my immediate family, my husband, my kids, and also my business. So what we did is that we came up with a solution. One of them is called StanSure Bundle. StanSure Bundle is a solution that looks at your life as a person. It looks at anything that would affect your ability for you to move around. So we have an element of personal accident. We have an element around where you live with your family, that's your home. And then, of course, in the unlikely event of you losing a loved one, we also try to cushion that. We all know that, in Kenya, we know about whenever we lose loved ones, we tend to have michangos, WhatsApp groups. You put people there, they exit, you invite them, they exit. Exactly. So what you're trying to say is that we don't want you to be in that situation whereby, your friends are exiting.
Don't be abandoned in life and in death.
Exactly. So we have that, which is like a family cover that covers you, your home, and then, of course, in that unlikely event. And then we also have a big, a cover that takes care of a big component that DADA spoke about, my children and my education. So we have a solution called Education Protect. We work very closely with Liberty and, of course, other underwriters in the market. But what you're saying about Education Protect is that we spoke to DADAs and they said, we know we are hardworking. We know that we can make money. So right now, we could be comfortable. But what would happen in case I'm not around? Either,
that's every woman's worry.
Exactly. So either you could fall sick because of a disease, it could be an accident, it could even be death. And these things happen. So then what we did is that we said, let's come up with a solution that addresses that. It is light to the pocket, but then tries to take care of that risk if you're not available to pay the school fees or take care of your children. So we do have other solutions whereby you can say that you can contribute at that end of a certain period, you will get money out of it, and that's why I said there's some solutions which have a savings, investment element to it. But then, of course, we also now have this one which says that in the unlikely event that I'm not there, then at least I have some sort of protection or that impact is minimized. So we have those solutions for you. And then we also have another exciting product that can speak to your car that you spoke about. We have Lady Autocorrect.
lady
So
autocorrect.
autocorrect is a solution that rewards you for your good driving habits. Yes, it does. It does.
It looks like
It
a
does.
house.
Yes, it rewards you.
That's why I'm laughing.
I don't even qualify. I'm not
Can't,
disqualified.
No, I think you all qualify. So when it comes to lady autocorrect, what happens is that, of course, it relies on what you call behavioral driving. And they say that ladies are good drivers relative to men.
Which lady?
It's
Sorry.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
concentrate.
Yeah. And it's there, and there are studies to that, and it's proven. So what we are saying is that depending on your driving behavior, if you look at the premiums that you paid during the period, you can get some money back that you can use probably, for your household, for your household. Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we do have.
Money back. Wow.
And then we also have other benefits for ladies, like, women wellness. You can go, to certain places. You get checks. We also have some points that you can redeem in certain stores. I mean, it's quite exciting. I think it's something you should think of. So we had so many solutions that you can look at when it comes to risk management. And what we say is that insurance is very personalized. Probably you have a family with 4 kids. You have a family with 1 kid. So your situation is very different from yours.
Yeah.
And as you said, you're a business lady. So it means that, your risk now, the way you look at it is quite different. You care about your business. Right now you're worried about what's happening. There's business interruption. This is where you are getting your income. And that's where you start looking at solutions also that can take care of your business. So we have solutions that look at business interruption. It could be fire. It could be theft. It could be even you as a person. So when you look at most DADAs, they tend to be the business, It's my idea. I'm the one who's trying to grow it.
Definitely.
So what then happens is that you look at what you call key man risk. In the event I'm not available, in the event that I'm not well, in the event that I'm not able to run my business, how can I be able to be cushioned? So we have something we call, key man insurance. So that way at least you can be able to be protected. So there's so many ways you can look at it. And then of course, as I said, in a family setup, there could be illnesses, there could be diseases. So there's also an element of medical, which I'm sure is very popular to many people, medical cover. Exactly. So what you're saying is that maybe in certain instances, you can be able to go to the clinic and take care of, the cost of purchasing medicine. And we all know medicine can be very expensive. So what you're trying to say is that to minimize that impact on you financially, what would happen then is that you transfer that to someone else who's the insurance company, so that at least the impact on you is a bit reduced. Yeah, so that's the way you look at insurance.
Those are quite, that's a lot to take in. But of course, we're going to break it down for you on our description box. We'll have information, a link where you're going to get as much information as you can.
Possible,
So please make sure you're part of DADA network. Hapa ndio source iko. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that's not me. The pandemic, which has hit every business, and everyone is wondering, are there people that have been, have taken covers? Is there a cover to protect yourself against the pandemic, that you're able to recover after the pandemic or during the pandemic? Is there such a thing, or are you guys considering it now, creating such a cover for? We haven't had a pandemic for...
No.
Actually,
I think most of the people have not gone through a pandemic. This is the first time.
I think the other good place to start is what you've just mentioned. It's a pandemic. So what makes it a pandemic, and what are the attributes of a pandemic? It's the fact that there's a likelihood to affect a huge area and, a huge population. So for that reason, maybe you'll hear that certain insurance companies do not cover, but certain companies also do cover. And those are specific, so you can look at. But then what you're trying to say is that the reason why it may not necessarily be able to be covered is because pandemics tend to cover huge areas, they tend to affect many people. And if you look at insurance, you're trying to pay, small installments into a pool, which is supposed to benefit many. So in instances of pandemic, what would happen then is actually it would wipe out the entire pool.
Yeah,
and
because
it could
everyone
be a
wants...
reason why. Exactly. It could be the reason why certain companies don't cover.
Okay.
But we in STANBIC, we look at, specific needs. Right now, we do have insurance companies that cover. I mean, we have some that don't cover because of those good reasons, and those are specifics we can discuss. Yeah.
So, Cyprian, job loss.
Yes.
Do you have something that covers that? Maybe you're retrenched, or even in this time of COVID.
Especially now.
A lot of companies had to cut back on employees, and a lot of people found themselves on the other side, jobless within minutes, jobless within weeks, and you do not know what else to do. So for someone who probably, I don't know whether you have that, do you have a place where I can put some money to cushion me against job loss or retrenchment, so to speak?
Yeah. Yes, we do have those cushions, and they apply in two ways. So we have customers who are saying that I want to be cushioned against certain obligations I've got, e.g. loans, as an example, loans. So we have instances whereby customers are saying that I want to be able to be given a cushion for a certain period of time as I reorganize myself. It's unfortunate that a good number of people have lost their jobs. And it's true. I mean, it's really affected the economy. And what would happen is that because of that, companies are scaling down in terms of manpower, in terms of even operations. And because of that, maybe we have employees who had loan facilities. So you can have a conversation with a bank, and we can look at how you can defer your repayments or how you can restructure your loan to make it easy for you to pay based on your current circumstances. But in the event of an employee who's lost their job, then it means that they don't necessarily have that source of income. So that source of income could be towards paying the loan, which is very specific, or it could be towards, trying to give you a cushion as you try as much as possible to be on your feet to get the next job or another economic activity. So we do have those solutions to cover your obligations like loans, but also to give you some monthly cushion so that you can be able to get another job or another economic activity.
Okay, that's amazing. Let's go back to chamas, which they call investment groups. What are the covers available for women in groups? It's risky just being in a group first and foremost and making these investments together. What do you advise such groups? What covers or what kind of insurances should they be seeking for maybe to protect themselves? Sometimes mtu anamkanga tu na moods we are women unasema wanaangalia vibaya nimetoka hiyo chama mnapata yani
So we've been having a lot of conversations with chamas, and I mean chamas with DADA is like, as you say, same WhatsApp group.
Same WhatsApp.
Exactly. So what would happen is that, I mean, based on the conversation we've had, there's an investment element when it comes to chama, and then there's also a welfare element to it. So what we tend to see happening as far as insurance is concerned is the welfare around it. So I'll give you an example. So welfare we're saying is that should any one of us lose a family member or a loved one, we contribute. Probably give 2,000 shillings, 3,000 shillings. And if it's a new chama, then trust me, that money has been wiped out. So what you're trying to say is that from a welfare perspective, we have solutions that can take care of last expenses. Yes.
Okay.
We can be able to do that. And I mean, we can organize. And the beauty with chamas is that you have that ability to negotiate as a group. And we have group packages and also individual packages that can be able to cushion you against those contributions, the WhatsApp groups we were talking about. You could be in the same chama, but people are still exiting. People don't want to contribute. Exactly. So we've been having conversations with chamas, and I think when it comes to insurance, what worries the most is the welfare bit, especially around loss of loved ones, and that's something we have good solutions for, both as individuals and as a group. And the conversations are, it's me, my family, and what would happen then is that in the event of that loss happening, there's cash you get at least to assist you manage that process. Because remember that time people are grieving, you don't have time to start, administering, trying to collect money, trying to follow up on people who gave pledges and they haven't sent the money. So you get that money.
It's really,
It can get very hard.
It's crazy.
It's
It gets really
crazy.
bad.
Yeah, so we have such solutions that are good for chamas. Yes. Yeah.
Same with chamas still, medical covers.
Yes.
They can be expensive.
They can be expensive.
See people getting groups and securing such covers.
Yes.
It can happen.
It can happen
within DADA.
Yes, it can happen within DADA. So you see, the beauty with chamas is that they have the ability to, have conversations as a group.
Okay.
So with that, you can be able to arrange a medical as a group, very specific to DADA, and say that we want to cover our 30 members or even 10 members.
Wow.
In the event of one of our members of their loved ones falling sick, at least they can go to a hospital, and as we said, that impact can be minimalized.
Wow.
Yes,
But the
that's
most
really
important thing, like the other experts have told us, is formalize the chama.
Formalize the
Yes.
chama. I think
Mfanye
I've heard that
mkuwe na
many times.
mpangilio.
Yes.
Yeah, just the
Yes.
way amwezi na kwa president moja mnaenda as a group, it's easier,
Yes.
you're hard.
Yeah.
So formalize your chamas. Did you, prior to the pandemic, did you consider taking insurance for your business? Or do you have any?
Prior to the pandemic, no, I hadn't taken any. I'm very glad for this conversation because, I had that mentality for insurance. I'll pay year in, year out, nothing really happens. You never see a pandemic happening.
True.
So it's just like personal medical cover now that I'm in business, like for me and my employees. And so now, because of the pandemic, then I'm not able to make the monthly contributions. So my question would be, in such a case where maybe loss of a job or loss of income, and you're not able to make the monthly contribution or by monthly contribution, then is there like a way to also assist?
Yeah, is there a grace period?
Yeah. So, and there are several ways you can look at it. So you could say that you want to have a conversation with insurance company to look at how you can, look at the repayment plan or a payment plan. Or the other way is also to look at it from, it's the company which was paying for my employees. So the question is then, the company has been interrupted. How can we look at it from a perspective of business interruption risk? And that can be able to take care of now this other conversation around my employees being covered. Yes, that's another way you can look at it.
Wow.
So majorly we need to insure our businesses
Yes, that's
against a lot of these risks, so that in case of something like this, at least one part can take care of the employees or something like that.
Yes.
I think that's
And
important.
also, we associate insurance with fraud.
Okay.
Kwa sababu tumesikia hiyo gari unaleta tukugogeshe ikwe write off. But wengine
hiyo gari inaleta shida hizi.
the dadas are not notorious. Not the dadas wengine, but we hear and I know like that's the vibe you get from insurance. And you have domestic cover.
Yes.
Against robbery, we work very hard. The things we have in the house, and calculate the expenses.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
And I
lot.
think
It's a lot.
just take us through domestic insurance. I don't know whether that's the correct term.
Yes.
Take us
yes.
through that.
It
I think
is
it's
the
very,
correct.
very important.
So you
for
could
us.
call it domestic insurance,
Yeah.
you could call it household insurance,
Okay.
you could even call it homeowners insurance. I think what you're trying to say here is that you have a home which you really value.
Yes.
I mean, if you have a place where you can put your head and your family is okay, they're not being rained on, you're good. So the question is then, how do you protect it against any unlikely events of affecting, the ability for you to provide that? So domestic insurance can cover the house itself. I mean, it could probably be a wall that, because of rain, the wall, broke and there's a crack. It could be maybe there was some strong wind and the roof was blown away. It could be there was a fire.
True.
It could even be, people came and stole certain things.
Earthquake iko ama hiyo ni natural calamities. Hiyo ni kama pandemic.
Yes.
Hizi zetu
Case insurance. Hata earthquake, man.
lakini huku labda ujenge na carton.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So, but you look at now, I mean, if you look at most of the risks, they are covered.
Okay.
And then there's the perspective around then, you've covered the house, what is it that's in the house?
Yes.
So you've got your TV, you've got your fridge, you even have your clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got your clothes, you've
Your
got your
phones.
phones,
Yeah.
you've got
Your
your,
laptops.
your jewelry, your
Yeah.
earrings,
Jewelries. Oh,
your
yes.
rings.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there are many things that are in the house that you can take care of.
Yeah.
And the other key aspect that's also covered that people tend, you know, to or don't know about is your domestic workers. They also have, I mean, yes. Under the Work Injury Benefits Act, your domestic workers are covered under that particular insurance arrangement. Yes,
that's a new one. Did you guys know that?
Let me know.
Let me know if you knew. Okay.
And there's another exciting one, even for those people who love playing golf. I mean, there's a liability component that's covered under your domestic.
In case ugongwe na hiyo mpira.
Maybe
That one is perfect.
maybe ugonge
Unajua ni ile kugongwa tuligongwa tukiwa watoto. That's a
hockey. That's the closest we came to golf.
Yes,
okay.
yes. That liability, ugonge mtu ama ugonge property ya mtu.
The
domestic workers.
Yes.
Expound on that one.
Yeah, so I mean, a domestic, so the people who help, we call them domestic managers, we call helpers.
Yeah.
Assuming they were to get an injury while they're at work. The question is then, you're going to dip money from your pocket to be able to help them, you know, get through that injury. Insurance can come in to help you because when they got that injury, they're within your employ. So that way, at least you're helping them. You know, it's part of you taking care of your household, if you look at it that way.
Can they sue you in case?
It's possible.
It's
It's possible. They can sue you.
So I think that's important.
We've had such instances. They can sue you.
What?
Because they happened in the
Times.
workplace, just like they would sue.
Yes.
Yes.
My goodness, that's
No, but that's
because your home is their office.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how you can look at it.
That's
wow.
good to
I'm
know.
sure so many of us didn't know.
That's under the domestic cover.
Yeah, it is under the domestic.
Okay. Wow. So you have the 4-in-1,
Yes.
which you've broken down.
Yes.
If you don't mind, just
the
listing
DADA.
them again.
Yes.
Yeah, for the DADA.
So it is an excellent solution, and it was really put together based on the needs that had been expressed by the DADAs. So they said that my family, my property is important to me. I want to be able to have something that takes care of that. So there's an element of me as a person.
Yes.
I could be injured. I could lose my life. Please take care of that.
Okay.
So we have an element of personal accident, which looks at your injury. There's an element of also your death. And those are separate covers, and they take care of. And we've done it in a way that you have 4 options.
Okay.
Depending on, your pocket, or depending on the cover that you want to take, you can choose. It's very easy. You don't have to provide a lot of information. You don't have to go through medicals. You just choose and, pay for the option that you want. So the first 2 options I spoke that are covered under, this bundle. We also have an element of domestic, which we've talked about extensively.
Yes.
So your house, your household is also taken care of up to certain limits, and we can share that with you.
Okay.
And then the last one is the last expenses cover that cover you, your spouse, your children, and for parents. And when I talk about for parents, I'm referring to your parent, your parents, and your parents-in-law.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So those are the 4 parents.
Yes.
The
Even
question.
the parents one, that's very unique.
Very unique.
Very, because most of us now
You
have to
are
take care
at
of
that age.
at that age where you need to
Exactly.
You need to take
take
care of them.
them.
Yes.
The other question would be, remember when we were young and then we went to seek for medical cover, and the amount that was said, we ran never to look back. How much are we talking about? I mean, I am a DADA, I want to take insurance, range.
So we can look at it in 2 ways. You DADA as a person, as I said, insurance can be very personalized, but you can also try as much as possible also to look at it in groups as your chama.
Yeah.
So what you could say is that you can look at your chama, say that you want to take care of yourselves up to a certain limit, and we can look at the pricing for that limit, for those limits, and you'll be, it will be very specific to your chama. But then you can also have it as an individual, where you choose different packages depending on the cover that you want to take. Those are available to you.
So it's very personal. You custom make it to a person's needs.
Yes.
But let's talk about the one that caught our eye was 1,300 and it's the 4-in-1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one is very, very, and it's monthly?
Yes. So we have monthly options. So insurance, basically they're annual covers.
Okay.
And in most instances, when you pay for, annual premiums for this particular year. So probably it's this year, July to next year, July. Or it could be this year, January to December when you're starting the new year. But based on what we heard from DADAs, they said that we understand that insurance is an annual cover arrangement, but we want to have the flexibility of us being able to pay it on a monthly basis.
Yes.
So we have one you can pay for, 1,300 shillings for a month, 2,200 shillings for a month, there's 3,400 shillings for a month, and also 5,400 shillings for a month. It's being able to provide our DADAs the flexibility, to have that cover.
Especially now, ukiambia mtu
pesa
that amount anatoroka.
Okay. So it's an annual cover, but you can pay for it monthly, so that then at least it's easy on your pocket. Yes.
The other one that I know dadas really, really want to know is the ya maternity. Unafikanga unaambia ulikuwa umechelewa kidogo. Unajua saa zingine hizi vitu zina happen. Simesema we are idle. Haujui and unajipata haya ndio hii, but you need to secure yourself. Or like you were saying with the
I've actually noticed many insurance companies do not cover for elective cesarean sections.
Elective ni ile ni abuji atazaliwa 14th Feb.
Atazaliwa 14th Feb siku ya Valentine.
That is not luxury?
No.
Oh, okay.
For some of those elective CSs is because you already have a first baby in the same way, and so you're not able to have these other babies naturally.
Right.
So you just go in for an elective CS.
They don't cover that.
Most insurance companies will not cover that. And
expand on that. Kwa nini hamtaki tukue active na tukue protected na tuchague how we want?
So if you go back to insurance, there's an element of probability of that risk happening. It's not to say that a loss is going to happen and you protect it, because then the principles now become
the probability.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there's no chance of that happening. I could even say it's actually 100% chance that it will happen. So in those instances, then insurance doesn't cover. And I can use the examples that you've just mentioned. You're pregnant, that's the time you want to take insurance. So then the question is there any probability of it happening? Ama ishafanyika. So for that reason, it won't be covered. But what will happen? What will happen is that insurance companies will allow you to take that insurance before you fall pregnant. So they'll tell you that we'll be able to cover you after 9 months. 9 months after you take the insurance cover. What that means is that you could, fall pregnant maybe tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next month, you'll be covered.
So watu wajipange, unajua dates. Natumia app, unajua sasa insurance hapa.
Kwa hivyo unasonga na insurance the previous month.
And for the elective one,
And the elective one, so there are two scenarios here. So the fact that it's called elective, it means that it's actually someone who chooses to go for. Yes.
Right.
This is the case you've just explained, which talks about because you had, you went through C-section before, and there's a medical, case around it.
Yes.
Then that one you cannot necessarily call it an elective C-section because there's a medical precedence to it. Yes. So elective is when someone says, hey, I could have gone through the natural process, but I just want to go for elective, which calls it now elective. And for that reason now it's not covered because it's definite that you're the one who chose to go through that particular process. Yes.
Na tumeongea mpaka nimesikia njaa. Sasa huko sijui kama ulikuwa umeinsure hii chakula. Unajua
chakula nataka kuongea na Cyprian ndio tunatoka si chakula nizo sahani.
Kutoka hapa tuhare tunakusu. Tunakaribishanga wageni. Tunataka umekauka, umetumia, umeongea sana.
Imagine.
Ako na stress ya biashara ya COVID. Si wote. But things will get better. I hope you're part of DADA. Tunakarijiana. We have webinars where we talk, we encourage one another. It's really, really, really good. So I hope if you're not part of it, you better. Now, tutakufuata na kustalk. Hi, how are you doing? How is business? But things are looking up. I hope they get better. I hope you don't need the 3 years. They will get better. Cyprian, asante sana. Before turarue hii mkate yetu, we just want to say thank you so much. I think you've shed so much light on the issue. Insurance is, as in you've told us things we didn't know. And we are grateful. We are grateful. I know the dadas are feeling him.
Yes.
Asante sana. What is this?
This is easy chicken on rolls.
Chicken on rolls?
Yes.
Okay.
Chicken salad, which has some nuts, apple.
Who's allergic to nuts?
Anyone allergic to
Our
nuts?
guests
Sijakataza
are
chochote.
hawa hata mawe ukipaka vizuri watakula.
Watatengeneza. So ka chicken mimi marinate tu kidogo na tu spices tu unapenda. Then I fry it dry, shred it into small pieces, mix it with the nuts, kitungu kidogo, dhania, and then you put mayo and a bit of yogurt.
Are you going to have
Mayonnaise?
that recipe on the
Yes,
description?
we will put that recipe
That's
up for
very
you.
Yeah.
Then we put it on the bread and our guests can have the first
Tunawakaribisha
go. We
sana.
have
Na ulisema watanyongwa ama
watanyongwa. Nitaletea wageni chai, lakini
Asante
wewe naona uendelee tu na mtungi yako.
Nitaendelea na mtungi yangu. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing, for watching, for sharing, for your feedback. It means the world to us. Thank you. At least imagine tungejishoot tujiwatch. Hebu imagine. Sio, haingekuwa poa. We are so grateful. Thank you so much. Dadas out there, let's keep engaging, let's keep talking. You can see our experts from STANBIC are just a phone call away. Na tumesema tuwapigie tu simu za biashara tafadhali. Watu wasianze kuniambia Cyprian. You know, hata mimi nipige bite nipatie hizi zangu sasa kumalizia wageni. I want to look like I have discipline. So keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep ingine ni gani?
Commenting, alafu waambie wagonge bell your notifications. Ndio every time we upload a new video, then you get it. You get the alert. And they're the first to watch it.
And let our sister know, a mom, a shosho, an auntie,
Very important.
that there's DADA by STANBIC Bank, where we dare to achieve and dare to
Aspire.
Aspire.
on. Sasa
Aspire.
cheers, guys. Cheers. Tufanye
Dare to
hewani.
achieve.
Hewani. Cheers.
Dare to
Cheers.
aspire.
Thank you. I see they have seen this. It's for stress. It's for stress. And before we forgot something before to narrow easy sandwich. The basic rules when getting insurance. Ni gani? Lazima kukuwe na mtaratara pia. Sasa tunaendanga tu hivi nipe insurance.
Yeah, I think to summarize it and thinking about insurance, so that tusianze kusema ni fraud ama ni nini. There are basic things that you should be very careful when, or you should be keen on when taking insurance. The first one is getting to understand what is covered and what is not covered.
Okay.
I'll give you a basic example. Like when you talk about your car, comprehensive insurance. You know, at times maybe you go, you're involved in an accident, you're injured. Remember the insurance was on the car. Primarily, if you think about it.
Not
Yes.
on you.
Not on me.
Yes.
It's the car.
It's-
So you need
it's
to
the
understand
car.
what is covered, what is not.
Yes.
Okay.
Not to say that we don't have instances where that's covered, but I think it's good you understand that the insurance first was on the car, and then of course we do have certain solutions which we can talk to you about that also covers you as the driver and your family if you are you know in that car, which can be added you know to make form of that to be part of that solution.
Okay. It's
So
like
that's
having
number-
pizza na toppings.
Yes,
on this
yes,
car,
yes,
whatever kuna
yes.
tuingine tuko
Yes,
huko
yes,
ndani.
yes.
That's nice. Okay.
So I think that's one of the areas where you get friction. People not understanding what's covered
And
and
what's
what's not
not
covered.
covered.
Okay.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Look at the proposal form that's that you're signing on, and also request to get your cover note and your policy document. Read to understand what's covered and what's not.
Please read it.
Yes.
The second thing is around the period of coverage. Start date and end date.
Okay.
So you've understood what's covered, what's not covered. So the question then is, when does it start, your cover? Like we spoke about the waiting periods. Like for maternity, it will probably be either 9 months or 10 months after you've taken the cover. That's important. It's also good to understand when that insurance is expiring. Have you ever had instances whereby maybe
Yeah,
you're
good
driving
question.
home,
Yeah.
Kishagi, you think,
You're
in
good.
fact, even when you're driving back,
Yeah.
it's probably 2nd of January.
You're very confident.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a cop stops you, you're fine. That's the time now he
Like
reminds you.
Nini?
Yes.
Kama madam,
With
imeexpire,
a attitude.
yeah? Una calm down.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it's good to know when it starts and when it expires.
ends.
Yes.
Okay.
So because you could understand what's covered,
Yeah.
but you forget to know that your cover is expiring, let's say 31st of December or even 21st of July next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so then at least you renew it and that coverage continues. Those are the key things
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you not to forget.
Ah,
Yes.
fantastic. Thank you very much. Tuendelee kurarua.